morning. Today is New Year's Eve. My favorite day, usually, but for some reason it doesn't feel like a holiday this time. Well, first of all, because I'm working, something is wrong with this cup, you know, like the lid. I just spilled coffee when I tried to lift it. Like lids are too big. I don't like this regular coffee anymore, you know. If it's regular coffee, I want to have at least beans to cup machine. But these guys, they don't have anything. So this is Cheektowaga, New York, Buffalo. And New York, we have to run our flashing light on the roof because that's specifically required on the permit. I have my socks on, and because of that I have my gloves on. I don't know why it bugs so many people, like what, you never wear gloves when driving, but it just helps, you know, like it feels nicer on the steering wheel, you know. It's easier to turn, you know, especially like in the summer. I like wearing these because then your wanted to say feet, no, your hands are not sweaty, you know. So I don't know, that's why, you know. Now we're in trouble. Idle time exceeded. So you scan with police coming? Hold on, let's try this again. And that sound is I'm charging my GoPro 9. And then I wanted to show you guys this stretch because it's gonna be very busy and tight, you know. I probably should turn on my lights as well. So Cheektowaga, Walden Avenue, basically Walden and I-90. But I'm not going like this. You see, I'm going south, I'm going east that way, and then I'm taking 277 or Union Road south, but only till this 130. And there'll be a crazy turn under the bridge, I think, yeah. And then I'm taking this 130, which is Broadway east, all the way through this beautiful downtown, and then there'll be a T intersection, and Broadway intersects with 78 and 20. And then basically Broadway becomes US 20, and then I'm following that ugly highway. I hate that one with the heavy load like this, but at least it's easy to track, you know, your position, because I'm taking I-20 all the way to 63. So there you go. So if you want to track my movement, just look up Jim's Truck Plaza on Walden Avenue, just east of I-90, right? And then we're going like this. And I turned off the speaker because I know this thing, you see, this thing wants me to go either this way straight on Walden, which I cannot do, or it wants me to go south all the way towards 20, because 20 runs below me, but you know, and then it goes up a little bit, and that's where I need to be on 20 over there. I cannot be on 20 down there. I don't know, maybe some, well, why would I go that way? I don't know. So yeah, surprisingly, December 31st, there's no limits, there's no curfews on oversized movements, and we talk about this many times, right? It would be so nice if all these DOT permit offices, at least in one country, I'm not even talking about US and Canada, okay, that's impossible for these bureaucrats to fathom, you know, but at least make rules similar in one country, you know, like make Canada, like Western Canada, like, what are we doing, Mr. Amazon? What, are you not sure which way to go? Now, a sign of a rookie. How do you tell if the driver is a rookie? Immediately when the guy pulls his trailer brakes. An experienced driver never uses trailer brakes when parking. And so yeah, so Pennsylvania. Oh, I saw this guy yesterday at the same no wait, this is a different guy. Yeah, this is a different guy, but Quebec license plate, I think. So Pennsylvania says no travel in Pennsylvania after 12 noon yesterday, Thursday. New York says, what's wrong with you guys? We allow travel on Friday all day, but we just think that you better stay home on January 1st. No oversized loads. You know, I thought it was Friday, you know, like usually the day before the holiday. It's, you have to get off the road at 12 o'clock, 12 p.m. So here we go. See, I'm telling you, it's with the gloves, it's easier to turn the steering wheel. You guys should try it sometime. And it's pretty much the same principle as next time someone asks me why I sometimes wear gloves when I feel like it. Because it's my own truck, right? I'm the boss here. I'm the president. I'm the chairman of the board. So why I'm wearing gloves is, then I'm gonna ask you why you're wearing socks. Because it feels good. So some people don't wear socks, right? Some people don't wear gloves. It's as simple as that. Too low, terrain, too low. But we are okay. Now, I gotta be turning from this lane because it's too tight otherwise. So we're going under this crazy bridge. And you see the sign says GCT 130. Then we're gonna turn like this, otherwise I cannot make this turn. And it's good that today is pretty much a pre-holiday. So you have to go like this. I have to go into the opposite lane, otherwise my wheels are on the shoulder, on the curb. And I'm watching my rear wheels. We're doing good. Nicely done, Mr. Dratchev. Thank you, sir. And this is 130, also known as Broadway. Now this intersection is a bit tricky because the road curves. And of course you can turn on red, right? But the visibility is quite poor. So I came from there. All right, so now we'll just keep going in this nice boulevard. way to US 20. Oh, beautiful. So most people, I'm guessing, are off today. It's 9:35 in the morning, but there's hardly any traffic, as you can see. Yeah, well, here there's pretty much no shoulders, lots of posts and mailboxes over there. So yeah, just like I was saying in the yesterday's video, I can drive in New York all day today, but I cannot enter Pennsylvania. And there's a Flying J 13 miles south of the New York PA border, right, with a nice Denny's restaurant in New Milford. But before you get to that Flying J, there's a rest area which DOT sometimes converts into a inspection site. And how do I know? Is because tracker path shows, you know, W, wait station. So it's not a, you know, real wait station, but especially on holidays and on weekends, they like doing that in New York as well. And so I cannot do that. So so the last truck stop on the Pennsylvania side is, there's a TA and there's Love's in Binghamton. According to Tracker Path, I did my research yesterday. I looked at satellite photos, which one would be more suited for an oversized load. Even though it's not too crazy, 11.4, right? But still. And turns out TA is the winner with 125 parking spots versus Love's at 75, I think. So TA is 50 times bigger. And also, what I was thinking, I forgot to mention this yesterday, it's very cold right now in Western Canada. They're saying it hasn't been this cold in a few years. Like my freight broker friend emailed me this morning wishing me happy holidays, and he says minus 36 Celsius. If you're curious about how cold that is in Fahrenheit, just look up on Google C to F, convert Celsius to Fahrenheit, and you will see minus 36. It's pretty much like minus 40 F almost, because minus 40 C is the same as minus 40 F. So it's crazy. And he's in Edmonton, which is northern part, like mid part of Alberta, right? Calgary is usually warmer because it's in the south, but that's where I'll be going through Edmonton towards the mountains, and then I'm delivering that pipe layer, my next load, basically a couple of hours west of Edmonton. Yeah, similar area to where I was last time, but a bit closer. And so yeah, minus 36 Celsius, right? And I don't know if you remember, but last time I did oil change, the guys only had like 10W30, and they were saying that's all that's recommended by the factory. And of course 10W30, it's still better than 15W40, because 10 is less than 15, right? So that means that the oil is better suited to cold temperatures. But I don't think that's enough for minus 36 Celsius. So, and I'm like 8,000 kilometers, 5,000 miles away from the oil change that I wanted to do at 40,000 kilometers or 25,000 miles. But because I'm going to Western Canada, I'm thinking where it's so cold, I should probably do oil change while I'm sitting at the TA there, and they have a service shop there. And I know it's gonna be expensive, but I could probably get that oil myself for about 20 bucks a gallon. Like, you know, I buy like, I forgot, 14, I think I need 14, 15 jugs or something like that. But it's still cheaper because a typical, yeah, see, that's 20. So 20 comes from there and it goes here. So that's the, oh, perfect, it found it. So now we can turn the volume back on. Yeah, normally this stretch takes much longer because there's usually a lot of traffic. But now this one becomes a 2-lane road, so I don't have to worry about cars passing me on this side anymore. So yeah, do you see this Advanced Auto Parts? These guys are always open, and there's one across the road from TA in Dansville. And I bought oil there a couple of times, and they had Shell Rotella T6. That's the one I want. That's the best oil as far as I'm concerned. Rotella T6, fully synthetic, 5W40. And it saved my butt quite a few times in previous winters, because I saw a guy was parked next to me. We were in Fargo, North Dakota, right? And it was like minus 20 Celsius or minus 25, you know, pretty cold. And he did not idle because he had the heater. I did not idle. And then in the morning I see he's walking around, you know, scratching his head. And there's mechanics walking around. And I said, what's going on? He says, cannot start the truck. I turn the key. Pop, 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 boom. Mine starts from like a second, maybe second attempt. And I said, what oil do you use? And this guy had some kind of, I still remember, he was a black guy driving like an older gentleman driving classic Peterbilt. And I think he had a reefer. And he says, regular oil? I don't know. I said, what's the weight? What oil are you using? Regular, you mean like 15W40? He says, yeah, probably. And that does not work because the oil just freezes, you know. And so this winter, this holiday season, I want to try to find 0W40. That would be super nice, you know, just to cover my butt. And of course I'm not using this in the summer because it's expensive. But again, if I buy those jugs from Advanced Auto Parts, I think last time it was, yeah, I know in Walmart it's like $19 US or 20 bucks a jug, but at Advance it was a bit more money. I think it was like $22, but still, you know, 10 jugs is 220 bucks. Unless I'm lucky and they sell a bucket, 5 gallons, right? Then it's cheaper. And so that's my project for the weekend. Son of a gun. Diesel is 354. But look at this weather, right? +7 Celsius now. Unbelievable. So the guys are dying in Alberta at -36. What a difference. And I'm going there. See, that's the that's what scares me a little bit. And so, yeah, we need winter oil, and also we need I'm pointing at my fuel restriction gauge. I need a 25 micron primary fuel filter, because the one I have now, I'm telling you, like this 10 micron stuff, it's no good for winter. Because in winter they start adding, you know, stuff, right, to prevent fuel from gelling, and in general, you know, some fuel can be dirty. So this will be a holiday, kind of like what I did on Christmas Day in the car, right? So this is pretty much what we're doing. We're doing. I might add some nice music to it in the background at the end. But this will be your New Year's Eve road trip. See, everything is open. Tattoo studio. Artemis Tattoo Studio. Probably a Russian guy, Artyom. See, that's how you shift without a clutch. Just release the gas. Almost like, feels like driving a Tesla. Except I still have to move the shifter. Sometimes I have trouble in this, in 5. Oh, now it's good. Because 5, it's a very large movement, right? From 4 to 5 in the second range. And we're just accelerating to 1500 RPM. Release the throttle. See, beautiful. But when I get tired at the end of the day, or if there's a hill, you know, or there's a downhill, it can cause issues. So now I'm in 6 high. Or gear, if you're counting 18-speed transmission, it's gear, what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gear 8. Oh, wait, I only have 4 more gears to go. No, this is like gear 14. Because they count reverse gears as well, right? Yeah, I see, like, these guys are very close. I don't want to go there. I'll stick here so I can hide my track on the left there in the medium. Oh, check this out. A beautiful snowman. Hello. So I don't know, maybe I'll do it. I like this, you know, my next stop, what I put in. 104 clicks away, 63 miles, is TA in Dansville. And these guys, are really busy. They only have 2 bays for truck service, but they're very nice guys. They helped me quite a few times with mechanical repairs there. So I'll see if I can make it there. No, actually, wait a second. It's 10 o'clock now, 10 to 10. So it'll take me an hour and a half for sure. So I'll be there like 11:30. So if they can do the change quickly, then I can do it there, because I need to get to Binghamton. But TA in Binghamton also has a service shop. They're probably gonna be closed on Saturday, January 1st, but they might be open on January 2nd, Sunday. And then, yeah, it's quite a hike, you know, when I deliver, when I can start driving again on Monday morning. It's about 2 hours to my consignee near Allentown. And of course I can only leave the truck stop at sunrise, which is probably like 7:30 in the morning. So I'll be at the consignee at about 10. So it'll probably take like a couple of hours to unload. By that time it'll be too late to factor the load, because I know my factoring company sent a memorandum saying that Friday they close early, so the next day they open is Tuesday. But I will see my money for this load on Tuesday, January 4th, which is good enough for me. Here there's no mailboxes. They're pretty far away here. they're getting closer, and then there's a pickup truck over there. So I'm 42 clicks away from New York 63. So here I'm gonna have some fun hills. Look how much land each house has. So this way you know that land here is cheap. Because normally, you know, like houses are right next to each other, right? And they're close to the road. So this is the town of Alden, A-L-D-E-N, Alden, New York. Each house has at least, like, I don't know, 2 acres. So this is your New Year's Eve drive in the country. Please don't change to red. Please don't change to red. Thank you. Do you hear that sound? Psh, psh. I gotta fix that. I don't know why it keeps doing that. It's the last axle. Even though it's warm, I thought usually that would happen only when it's cold. So it has a slight air leak. But the good news is that after I'm loading the second machine, the pipe layer, right? I'm going back to Canada and I'm gonna disconnect the last axle and I'm gonna attach the booster. And another problem I've been thinking about is I really need to change, set the pressure in tires, because it's been a while since I did that. So my Jeep, I'm gonna hook up the Jeep right in the booster. So the Jeep has been sitting there for 2 or 3 months. And then, you know, again, I'm thinking about that extreme cold temperature in Western Canada. So, you know, if you have 120 psi in this weather, and then you go to, you know, minus 40 F, you're gonna have 100 psi if you're lucky. You know, probably like 95. So I need to make sure all my tires are 120 on the 120 psi on the truck and Jeep, and 125 125 in the booster. See, these advanced auto parts are everywhere. So on my right it's Save Foods. I know this nice big grocery store, and then there's Advanced Auto Parts. So yeah, this load is so much easier, right? Because it just goes through 2 states, same climate zone pretty much, right? But Alberta, man, I usually don't like going there after Christmas because it gets, you know, that's what they, I think they started having that temperature in middle of December. See over here, no snow, beautiful kind of like spring weather. I like this. So if I stay in Dansville for the weekend, then Saturday there's no driving in New York, so I can only start driving Monday, and that's too far. Well, I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna check, because then I have to be in west of Pittsburgh on Tuesday, and the distance over there is 300 miles. So it'll take me like 7 hours after I deliver that load, you know. So yeah, I think it's better to get to Binghamton. So here we go. Here we have these nice rolling hills. So I'm gonna publish this in 1080p at 60. So if some of you guys like watching my adventures on a big screen, it's gonna look good. 1080p at 60 frames a second is beautiful. You don't need 4K. That's just, you know, files get too big. I know a lot of people, actually, lots of video creators, that when 4K became the in thing, so people started doing 4K videos. Like one guy was saying, I wanna kind of like time-proof my channel for the future, you know, when everybody starts watching 4K and 8K, you know, using 4K TV sets. And then the same guy, 1 year later, he switches back to 1080p at 60. He says that's good enough, because at 4K, like, all files are, you know, I think it's like 4 times bigger. So you need a lot of storage, and then you need a lot of data and lots of time, because now when you upload a video, it takes longer, right? If you have the same speed as before, it takes like, you know, 3-4 times longer to upload the video, especially if it's a long video like what I like doing. Yeah, the excavator has been behaving. I tightened a couple of chains when I was checking them, so nothing crazy. It did move. The stick, of course, is the stick. You gotta watch that. You know, where this sits, like the lower part of the boom, where it sits near the beams of my trailer. Okay, so this New York 77, I know there's a, if you go left, this is, it'll be Corfu, village of Corfu, and there's a Flying J there. Yeah, that way, towards I-90. I-90, I'm driving parallel to I-90. So this is going to be the last video of 2021, and because it's long, which is nice for Premiere, so you guys can participate in the chat. Wow, diesel is 346. That's pretty good. 240 again. Son of a gun. And that's Dawn. You know how I know? Because there was a sign up front, Dawn's Small Engine Repair. And then I see an older guy driving a tractor. So I assume that's not an employee, that's Mr. Dawn having some fun before the snow season starts. Because yeah, this area, kind of like same as in Ontario, can get pretty cold and snowy in winter. But if I were to choose between Michigan and New York, I would settle for New York, you know? I like upstate New York with all these hills and stuff like that. I think it's cleaner and the roads are better than in Michigan. And why these two states is because they're adjacent to Ontario. Like, remember, I keep thinking about getting a house or a piece of land somewhere. And yeah, at first I was thinking somewhere where it's warm, like, you know, Tennessee, you know, North Carolina, Texas, somewhere there. Not Florida, because it's too hot over there in the summer. But the reality is, most of my loads are between Ontario and US, right? And so I'm always crossing the border either via Port Huron or via Buffalo, right? So if I had a piece of land somewhere here, you know, like in this area, for example, then it would be not out of my way to get to, you know, when I have a load on the way back to Canada and from Canada to US. But whereas if I do it, let's say, somewhere in Texas, and then I will have to find a load going there, which is not that easy from Canada. Like, if I was American, that's different matter, right? But between US and Canada, I always say that's the big problem for me, is low number of loads. So I have to work much harder finding a good load, because I cannot do loads inside US. And many people are still confused about this, and they're asking me why I don't become a US citizen. Which to me just sounds so ridiculous. Like, I cannot believe that people don't realize that if it was that easy, then why would thousands of Mexicans risk their lives crossing the border illegally? Right? Hey, you just go to the post office, fill out an application, attach a money order for 50 bucks, send it away, and get your passport in 2 weeks. Is that what you guys think? Maybe it was like that in 1759, but it's definitely not like that in 21st century. So you cannot just, hey, I want to live in US. And actually, I can live in US, right? Because I'm Canadian. And that's the beauty of being a Canadian citizen, is that I can enter US without, I don't need a visa. Just like I don't need a visa to fly to Europe. You know, they have this, they call Schengen Agreement. Countries of Schengen Agreement. And it's pretty much all countries in the European Union, well, I don't know, whatever it's called, but you know, Germany, Austria, Italy, Switzerland, if I fly as a Russian, I need one visa, but Schengen visa. But as a Canadian, I don't need a visa because my passport is much more valuable than a Russian passport. And I don't need a visa for US, right? So I can enter as a trucker, or I can park my truck and I can enter in my car as a tourist up to 6 months. And they do allow us to buy property here. And that's why I'm talking about this, because that's in but that in no way is connected to the right to work. Okay, like some people are thinking, hey, okay, I'm gonna buy a house in US and then I'm gonna go to the nearest McDonald's and get a $15 an hour job, and then I'm set for life. No, I wish it was that simple, you know. Then everybody would work at McDonald's. And this is the village of Alexander, New York. But it's ridiculous, right? Like, I've been in Canada since 1997. So basically, what, 24, 25 years? I can do whatever I want in Canada, but in US, I cannot even get hired at McDonald's. You know? Why? Because you must have a green card, or you have to be a US citizen. Now, for comparison, back in the day, Canada was, you know, very easy to enter legally, which I did, right? So I did the interviews, all this applications, waited 1 year, paid I think it was 1,100 Canadian. That was the government fee. They asked me for a medical, right? And then there was one final interview where they check, like, a beautiful Russian girl that speaks flawless Russian, I still remember. And they check how you speak English, make sure you survive in your new home, right? And I passed that, of course, because I was a teacher of English. I graduated from a teacher's training institute or teacher's training university. Oops, wrong gear. And then last requirement was, if you're single, they wanted you to show them proof that you have 5,000 Canadian dollars in a foreign bank. Which, funny enough, it was illegal for a Russian citizen to have money in a foreign bank. Yeah, like, for a typical Russian citizen back in like 90s, to open a bank account at a real foreign bank, like in Switzerland, you must have a agreement from Central Bank of Russia. Unless, I think that's what I used. I went to, I think it was called Income Bank, and they had the same name bank, but in Cyprus. And so you go to Income Bank in Moscow, you give them $5,000, and they open you the account in their branch in Cyprus. But of course, it's two different banks, like, legally, but it's still, somehow that was allowed. And that's what I did. I gave them $5,000. Then when I was in Canada and I opened a bank account in Ontario, I called them, and it was kind of like, you know, that Switzerland system. You do a transfer by phone. I had all these PIN numbers, you know, passwords, and they sent my 5,000 to Canada. So it worked. And then, of course, in Canada, so I became it's the same as green card, right? So I became a legal resident, and then after 3 years, you can apply for the passport. Where in the States, I believe you have to wait 7 years. After you get your green card, you have to wait 7 years before you can apply for citizenship. So I'm telling you, now Canada is not easy, but back when I was doing this, it was an obvious choice between US and Canada. US was impossible to enter unless you participate in what the heck is that? Oh, it's some kind of a digital sign or something. Like US, unless you're married to an American, right? Unless you're athlete or scientist or famous actor, or the last thing that a typical citizen can do is play the visa lottery, right? And if you win that, which probably has a higher chance than winning a regular lottery. I actually know a couple of people that did that. I know one Russian Canadian who from Russia they moved to Quebec for some reason, not Ontario. I said, why Quebec? And he says, oh, my wife is a French language teacher. And he became a trucker, his wife became a teacher. And I was asking them if they're planning on moving to Ontario, because there's, you know, more jobs, they pay better, especially if you're a French language teacher, because there's some, you know, French schools for rich kids in Ontario that want to be bilingual, you know, when they graduate. And this guy says, we're getting ready to move to America, to US. I'm like, what? Even back then I knew that it's not possible to just pack your bags and go, right? And this guy says, we were doing the lottery thing every year, and last year we won, but my wife is not sure we want to go. What? Are you crazy? Because, you know, they will not wait forever. Once you're approved, after you win this lottery, of course they do all the checks and stuff like that. Once they check you out, you only have maybe, I don't know, a couple of years maybe. After that, your right to relocate expires. Like, I would not hesitate. If I won that, I would go to US, but see, for them, they're a couple, you know, getting older, right? So healthcare is free in Canada, and of course they have children. Education is, I think it's cheaper over here in Canada. And I think those were the reasons why they were not sure. Alright, we're 8 clicks, 5 miles away from 63. So time goes by fast when you're having fun, ain't it? So yeah, it would be nice to have a piece of land, you know. A few months ago I finally realized, you know, I understood the acre concept. Because in Russia, people are crazy about football, which is soccer, right? Not American football, but European football. And I have a very good idea what the soccer field looks like. And so it turns out that 2 acres is the soccer field. And so for me, that became, you know, crystal clear. So that's what I want. I want 2 acres because that's huge. That should be enough. If it's a soccer field size, that's enough to park the truck and build a house. You know? So imagine this, right? In the morning, you get up, you go through your kitchen, you open the door into the heated garage, 100 feet long, and your truck is right there inside the heated garage, and it's warm, so it starts right away, nothing rusted, but of course, you know, that's just a fantasy. But I know some people do that, right? Like they build a house and then they use one of those, they call them in Russian быстро возводимый, quick assembly buildings. All right. See, hills are becoming worse and worse. Come on. And it's funny, like it's +7, but the water in that little puddle had thin ice at the top. So yeah, New York would be nice, a nice place to live. Even though I know taxes here are higher. Michigan is cheaper. But like I said, if I were to choose between New York and Michigan, like over here, let's say Cheektowaga or that Alden, New York, and let's say Perry, Michigan, where I like that little town. It's Perry, Michigan. There's a truck stop there. I don't know. I think New York is better. Perry, Michigan probably gets less snow than here, because here there's a lot of lakes. Well, actually no, not this far, but alright, I better start slowing down. We are 2 clicks away from 63. That'll be a set of lights at in the distance there. Now you see, kind of like this, right? The guy has a garage, but of course it's an open one. But you step out from your house, and you can quickly jump into your vehicle. That would be nice with a truck, you know, the truck parked next to the house. This is town of Pavilion.
In 500 meters, turn right onto New York 63 South.
And there's a nice turn in here. It's more than or less than
Next right onto New York 63 South.
less than 90 degrees.